Okay, so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to make the best use of your training time over winter. So the first thing to consider is the best use of your training time is going to be the thing that gets you the biggest overall improvement on your overall triathlon race time when it comes to racing next season. So we need to move away from the idea of thinking about just improving in single sports and look at what can we do that's going to have the biggest effect on our overall race performance. And we've decided that the thing you can do that's most going to improve your overall time is you can massively improve your biking during the limited training time that you've got in the winter. Now, if you've got limited training time because the weather's poor, there isn't very much daylight, traditionally people have talked about needing to go out and do long, slow miles during the winter time and kind of build that base. And you'll still hear people talking about traditional winter-based training. And that's fine if you've got lots of time to do it. It's probably a great way to spend your time. However, most age groupers are busy, they've got jobs, they don't have the time to do this during the winter. So we've got to look at the best way to spend the maybe 1 hour a day you've got to train. It's going to have the biggest impact on you next summer. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about improving your functional threshold power on the bike. The reason we're going to concentrate on that is it's the one thing that is going to make you faster overall. If we can increase that number, it's going to mean that when you transition to training outdoors in the springtime, you'll be traveling faster for the same effort. It means when you race, you're going to be racing faster for the same effort. So all of our winter training, or the majority of our winter training time, is going to be focused on pushing that functional threshold power as high as we can so that you'll go faster for less effort when you get outdoors. Now, the good news is we know how to do it and it's very effective. The slightly worse news is you're going to have to be prepared to work really hard in order to do that. But as long as you're prepared to work hard and you're ready to do some, pretty intense work during the winter time on a turbo trainer, we've seen big gains in our athletes over the course of simply 8 weeks. So it is possible to make a big difference in a relatively short period of time. The next thing we'll talk about is how we're going to train in the pool over the winter. And so before we do that, I want you to divide yourself into one of two groups in your head. If you're the kind of swimmer who's already half decent, if you're a middle of the pack swimmer or better, then it's tempting to think you need to spend a lot of time over the winter and really improve and get yourself to the front of the middle of the pack by next year. And you might do. You might knock a couple of minutes off your swim time by swimming 3 or 4 times a week all the way through the winter. Now, what we actually advise is you can reduce your swimming down massively to once a week or maybe even less and not really lose anything off that swim, and instead spend that training time doing it on the bike and on the run and get massive, substantial gains there that are really going to reduce the overall time of your triathlon next year. So you might knock 10 minutes off your bike split as opposed to spending that time in the pool and maybe affecting your swim by a minute or 2. Okay. However, the caveat here is if you're a really learner beginner swimmer, if you are at the back of the pack and you're worried about missing the cutoff, the winter's an ideal time to spend more time in the pool, practicing swim drills and getting better and sorting your stroke mechanics out so that the training that you're then going to do in the springtime is going to be much more effective. Now, in terms of running, it's tempting to think that you need to go really hard all the time and try and really push yourself during the winter and do lots of hill reps and lots of track reps and lots of cross-country races. But what we found is a much better way to spend your time is actually to go quite easy on the run when you're doing your hard work on the bike. If you run steady and often, you're going to get big gains in your run performance, because when you think about it, you're already getting that heart and lungs workout on the bike, so your cardiovascular system will still be developing really well. Your ligaments, your tendons, all of those run mechanics that need to strengthen up in most of us, they're going to develop best by running easy or steady and doing it frequently, not even for particularly long, but by being out there regularly. It means that come the end of the winter, when you transition into your sort of outdoor training time, when the biking becomes a little bit less intense, the running can then pick up the intensity and your body will be really strong then. It'll be really durable and you won't have anywhere near as many injury problems or niggles. Okay, so that's how we approach winter training in Team Oxygen Addict. Hope you've enjoyed the video, and if you want to find out more, click the link at the bottom.